In fact, a follow-up segment tonight, as you may know, President Obama's job approval rating is declining in the USA, but in Europe it is a far different story. There he remains a rock star. Dick Morris has been vacationing in Italy, and I talked to him last night from Rome. Okay, Morris, you're in Italy, living large as always, and in that country, 84% of the people approve of Barack Obama, as opposed to about 50%. We're not talking job approval, just approval in general. About 50% of the USA approve of him, 84% in Italy. Wow, what's the difference?
Well, there are two differences. First of all, you got to remember that classically, about 40% of Italy voted communist. So you have a large left-wing following in these countries. And there's a long-term universal antipathy to the United States and a feeling that Obama is somehow taming it, that somehow he's not the cowboy that they think Bush was. But it's more important than that. They have skin in the game. They have their own self-interest. These populations have very generous work rules, benefits, vacations, raises, pensions. France, they're going crazy now to raise the retirement age from 60 to 62, and there are riots in the streets. They want to preserve those benefits. And as long as the United States is a freewheeling capitalist free market economy, they can't, because the capital will leave Europe and go to America. So that when Obama proposes socialist-style programs in the United States, they're happy because it means they can get away with them in their own country.
Interesting analysis. Very good, Morris. Very good. And I'm not saying that facetiously. I was wondering, what is it, a cultural thing? And Italy's not an anti-American country. I mean, they like Americans, but 87% of the Germans like Barack Obama, and you feel it is all entitlement-based.
Yeah. It started in 1981 when Mitterrand took power in France and he nationalized everything, socialist. And all the capital fled to Britain under Thatcher and America under Reagan. And then they realized that what Lenin, oddly enough, said was true. You can't have socialism in one country because the capital all leaves. So they made the European Common Market into the European Union to have uniform work rules and tax structures and stuff like that so that it wouldn't flow to Britain if they kept these entitlements. But it still went to the United States.
Right.
And Obama is bringing the United States into line.
Into the zone of entitlement that the Europeans wouldn't lose as much capital. You know, Morris, I have to say that is excellent. All right, now, coming back here, we have a lively debate inside the Republican Party. People like Karl Rove, Charles Krauthammer believe that, look, some of these Tea Party candidates are just weak. They're just not strong. They don't have the background. They have some problems, whatever. And they're going to lose in the general election. That's their opinion. And you say?
I think they're wrong. I like Charles and Karl. They're the two commentators I respect the most, actually. But they're wrong on this one. The American public is no longer thinking in terms of left to right. That's a division that comes from abortion and guns and gays and those kind of issues, where if someone's further to the right than you are, you get squeamish. But when the issue is spending and taxes and free market versus socialism, the issue is not left or right, because everybody agrees on the issues. The issue is, are you sincere? And you have these Democrats saying, oh, I'm against big spending, I'm against big government, I'm for cutting out the waste, I want to hold down your taxes. And the question is, who can you trust? And when somebody like Sharon Angle or Christine O'Donnell comes along and overturns the Republican Party establishment, and they're all dumping on her, the Tea Party people and the average voter is thinking, well, if they don't like her, there must be something good about her.
But that's true up to a certain
these
point.
Two parties.
Look, we had Ms. Angle on here last night, and she acquitted herself, I thought, quite well. I mean, she didn't come across as a crackpot. She answered the questions, and you know, if you like her, you like her. If you don't, you don't. And she's competitive neck and neck with Reid, and you think she's going to be Reid in Nevada, correct?
She's going to beat him because Reid's under 50. He can't get more than 45.
Okay, all right. So you think that Angle can win. And Angle, I have to say, I'd never met her before. She did fine here, and this is not an easy form. And I rocked her with a couple of tough questions, including a videotape that she had said earlier. But Miss O'Donnell is another situation. Miss O'Donnell, as I said in the Talking Points memo, has never had a job. Never. And she's had problems all throughout. And now she's an appealing woman, and she's a patriot for running for office. She ran against Biden last time around. I'm not diminishing her in any way. But I'll tell you what, independents are going to decide that Delaware situation. And to look at her resume, it's not a strong resume.
Well, I got to tell you this, Bill. If she were running for governor or mayor or president, those objections would carry a lot of water. But the main function of a United States senator is to vote. And these guys vote with their party leadership, Democrat or Republican, 98% of the time. And O'Donnell is going to vote against stimulus spending and against
That's absolutely true. So are you making a prediction that she's going to beat this guy?
Obamacare.
She's going to beat this
Yeah, I
in
sure
Delaware?
do. I sure. I mean, I can't be absolutely certain now. She just got the nomination, but I think she has a very good chance. And I'll tell you something, that the weakness that cost Castle to lose that primary might have cost him to lose the general election too. He hasn't had a serious fight in over a decade, and they run one against him and he folds like a house of cards.
All right.
I think that there's a very significant chance he could have lost.
Dick Mars, everybody, living large in Italy. Thanks very much for coming on in.
That's right.
And we have a very